Alright, peace and greetings, YouTubers. Alright, let me jump right into the story. And side note, my music is on in the background. Just tune it out if it's too loud. Well, actually, you just gotta kind of deal with it. But I was having my me time, chill, get out of work mode, gotta relax type of session. So y'all have to be in that session with me at the moment. So, anyway, story takes place at IHOP. And this is the IHOP that is on Boston Avenue on the Orange Line for those of you who live in the DMV. Okay, because the story takes place back in 2011. This is before they had the nice little IHOP in Columbia Heights. Alright, so I'm in the IHOP, and the way that it's set up is they have like this really long booth. You know, they have like the long booth, but it's a shared booth with different parties. So you have different people sitting on the booth, but they have their own tables, and you know, there's additional chairs across from the table. So the way that it's set up, it's me, and there's not a lot of people in this IHOP. There might be literally like 13 people in this, or like a dozen people, or 14, I don't know. There wasn't a lot of people. It's me, and then there's this old guy in the corner. Mind you, and another thing, I'm the only black person that's actually dining at the time. Everybody else in there that's eating is white. So it's me, it's this old guy in the corner, and then to my right side, like 2 tables over, there's this lady, and then next to her is there like a whole Malcolm in the Middle cast, like a whole bunch of kids. Like it's this lady and her, and I felt bad because them kids were so bad. It was just her, and she had like 4 kids. She had like the baby is crying and, you know, hollering about whatever. There's like the 2-year-old that keeps climbing out of the booster seat and running all around. There's like another 3 or 4-year-old. He's not listening, and she keep, you know how parents do the countdown if they don't spank it. 1, 2, 3, no more number. Now I'm at, all right, just stop, just stop. You know, so she's doing all that. A whole lot of mess going on that side. To my right, it was just chaotic. And then across from me, it was like a table of some elderly women or some older women. They were probably like, I don't know, between their 60s and the 70s, like golden girls, retired, chilling, life is good. They don't got to do nothing but just kind of lounge and, you know, watch their MacGyver collection when they get home. And might have been a few other people in there. So I had already been there. I got there before the lady who was next to me got there, because she's the one that we're gonna have this whole video about. So anyway, at the time, I think my food might have just gotten there, and then she was there and she was reading her book. So I'm on the phone with my father, and I know that I'm not loud because I'm talking about some really sensitive information. At the time, I had just relocated back to the DMV. Okay, when I graduated from Howard. Unfortunately, it was the peak of the recession, and there was a few things I didn't quite do when I was, you know, there. So, hey, I had to move back home for a little bit. So, I had moved back to Seattle with my parents. Plus, I found out my dad was sick at the time. So, it was kind of good to go home and get a lot of time with him. I was there for like a year and a half. So, at this point, I had just moved back to the DMV. Just started my job. I had only been there for about a week and a half, and I actually had just come from Staff Fun Day because I still had my little badge on and everything. So, I'm on the phone with my dad, and we're going over some stuff about an apartment because, you know, he's gonna co-sign and help me out with everything like that, and then just some of the paperwork and stuff with my car, because my car still needed to be shipped. Like, I'm telling you, when I first moved back here, it was a struggle. Like, I was in a Days Inn hotel. I was mad about that because, you know, that's where Selena got killed, so clearly they ain't got good security. So I'm in there sleeping with an eye open, and then like my second day of work was the day that they had the earthquake, and then that same weekend was Hurricane Irene. I was like, are you serious? Like, everything was going wrong that week. So I'm already in my feelings anyway. But so, man, I'm on the phone with my dad talking, you know, sensitive information, social security numbers and everything, you know, so, okay, dad, and I'm so old doing this, like I still got the old school phone, okay? It was a flip phone, it wasn't an iPhone. But anyway, so I'm on the phone, you know, dad, and while I'm talking to my dad, the lady, and I always remember what she had on. She had red hair, she had a purple shirt, sweatpants, and Crocs. And it was something about them Crocs that, I'll get back to the Crocs. But, I'm on the phone with my dad, and she, to the side, I keep hearing her, like a Sprite commercial. Like, what's wrong with her? So I'm tuning her out, like, because I'm like, I know she ain't got a problem with me on the phone. It can't possibly be that, because I know I'm not loud, and, you know, she got that whole family of them loud kids next to her, so if anything, she must be doing that in response to what they're doing at her table. So I'm on the phone with my dad. I get off the phone with my dad, and then, you know, I'm eating my food, chilling. My boss calls me. So I get on the phone with my boss, and I'm talking to her about some HR stuff because, you know, I just started the job. They want to make sure everything's together so I don't miss any paychecks as they come in. And at this point, I feel eyes looking at me. So I'm on the phone with my boss, and I'm still like in a, you know, modest tone because I don't want everybody to know my social security number, and I didn't have an address at the time. That's why I was on the phone with HR about my paycheck and all this other stuff. And I see the eyes, and I kind of just look, and she's giving me the look or whatever, and I'm like, okay, well, that clearly can't be for me. Maybe she just has Parkinson's disease or something and she can't help it. So I'm just keep my conversation and, mind my little business, eat my food and talk. So I get off the phone with my boss and I'm eating or whatever. And like when I get off the phone, she just like, oh, finally. And I'm like, okay. So now I gotta be petty because I just gotta make sure that I'm not crazy. Because I know that she knows that I know that she knows that I know she's not, talking to me. Or, So now I pretend to be on the phone. I'm not even on the phone. I'm just being petty at this point. So I'm on the phone talking to whoever I'm pretending to talk to. And this time, she leans over to my table and is like, excuse me, you need to lower your voice and be considerate of the people that are here eating. And hold on. I'm talking, hold on. And I'm like, okay. And at first I tried to use like my little Howard School of C conflict negotiation skills that I paid all this money to learn. And I'm like, okay, well, listen, to be quite honest, I'm going to be on a couple of conversations because there's a bunch of things that I'm doing. So if it's really that much of a bother, you can sit anywhere else in here because there's lots of open tables here. Mind you, just know we have the same server too. So, I'm like, there's lots of other tables here, this, that, and the third. And then, I get back on my fake call. I'm like, okay, well, you have a good day. I'll get back to you. And I get back to eating. So I'm eating or whatever, and I'm over here just pondering, like, I know she didn't. Or whatever, when you start talking to yourself in your head, you're like, I know, man, she got me all messed up. I just know. And this is back when I used to really cuss. This is a very PG-13 version of the story, by the way. So I'm sitting there eating. My boss calls me back about something. So I get back on the phone with my boss, and then while I'm on the phone with my boss, I hear a book slam, because she had a book that is, oh my God, and I'm still on the phone like, you know what? So I'm on the phone with my boss, and then she gets the server. We have the same server, and at this point I'm like, I know it's about to go down. I'm like, okay, I gotta call it. Okay, all right. I'm rushing the boss off the phone. Cool, thanks. All right, gotta go. And so I'm eating, and now I'm annoyed, like, man, because like sometimes you're in a good mood a little bit, or you're just in an okay mood, and you're not in a mood where you're prepared to have to pop off on anybody at the time. I just wanted to eat my IHOP, eat my pancakes. It was bad enough they didn't have the butter pecan syrup that day. Like, they didn't have it on any of the tables, because how sometimes when you don't feel like waiting for the server, you just go look at the other tables and see if they got a silverware or ketchup or whatever else you need. They didn't have it anywhere, so I don't know if it was out of stock. So I'm already pissed that I got to use maple syrup, and I'm eating this, and I hear her talking to the server, and she's like, do something about this. This is inconsiderate. This is unacceptable. I cannot believe he's just being a moron and a jackass. And I'm like, okay, so this is clearly about me. And I see both of them keep looking in my direction. And I'm annoyed because we have the same server. And I'm looking at her like, I wish you would come over here and say something to me, especially when I was here first. And so I look and I'm like, didn't I already tell you the first time that, this, that, and the third. If you want to sit somewhere else, you can do that. But I'm not about to sit here and do anything because you're uncomfortable. That's not my problem. This is IHOP. This is not some upscale, fine dining facility where everybody has to be mute. I'm like, you got them loud kids over there bouncing off the walls. You got the music playing. This is not that kind of environment. So there's no conversation to be had. So I go back to my eating or whatever. She gets up. And I'm acting like I don't see her because I know she ain't gets up, stands right here. And the server's still over there standing there. Mind you, for the rest of this story, the server does not move. She just stands there like this. This little scary lady with glasses, just scared of everything. Just Bambi deer, just scared. So, old girl in the Crocs walks over to me. And she crocs on over, and she's like, the way you're acting right now just goes to show what a dick and a jackass you are. And I'm... and so I'm sitting here pondering because I'm like, because first of all, I was so unprepared. Like, how sometimes you go someplace, when you, like, I don't know, if you have a bad day or you can't stand your job or something, you got to go there and you already in the car, already just thinking of all the stuff you're going to say to anybody who tries you that day. I wasn't ready because I was just going, I have to eat my food and be happy. So she says all that, and I did that long pause, and I think I might have had a few bites and a drink of the orange juice. And I'm like, look, I done already told you, I'm trying to be nice here. I'm trying not to hurt your feelings or whatever, but this is how it's going to be. So I suggest you just go back over there. I already told you I'm trying to get some work done. And then that's what got me, because she goes, well, what work could you possibly be doing? And in my head, automatically my Fred Hampton mentality comes out. I'm like, this lady thinks I'm a drug dealer. This lady thinks that I don't have a real job. This lady thinks that she is above me. And even though I'm in here in this suit and tie and she's in here with some freaking Crocs and sweatpants, she thinks that she got it like that over me and that she can be judgmental to what I'm doing. And for some reason, me on the phone is bothering her because she thought she was doing something because she came to IHOP to read. You know what? It's time to get read now. So at this point, now we're really exchanging. In my tone, I've lost all the respectability, politic, conflict, negotiation crap. That's out the window. So I'm like, look, I already told you first time. You need to mind your business. Next time somebody tell you something, you need to stay in your lane. And that just kind of symbolized, because I was like, when she got up, I was like, dang, white people just ain't scared of us no more. They just walk up on us in the restaurant. I got a knife in my hand and everything. She said, I know he ain't about it. And so I'm going off on this lady, like, look, I already told you. And the worst thing was, she kept coming with it. Like, she was coming at me with everything. And it was like, there was no stopping. And I was so caught off guard. And I'm like, let me turn it up a notch. So now I'm cussing up like a sailor. And I'm like, first of all, listen, it's not my fault you don't got nobody to talk to. It's not my fault nobody called you. Maybe the reason why you're in here by yourself is because you got 3 breads on your plate. You got pancakes, you got crepes, and you got French toast. That's just being greedy. That's just gluttonous. All these people starving in Africa, and you want to sit here and have 3 different kinds of bread. You ain't even about to eat all that while you worry about me on the phone, whatever. And at this point, like, the guy on the left side, he's so confused, like, what's going on? And she's still going at it. And the lady's like, to the server, aren't you going to do something about this? Do something! Like I'm some type of circus attraction. And I'm like, okay, you know what? And then out of nowhere, this is why I laugh at the Boondocks episode where they say that every black man has that moment where they kind of just lose it. Time check. Okay, I got time. That every black man has that moment where they lose it. Because at this point, I remember I stood up, and it's so weird because I didn't black out because I knew what I was doing, but I still felt like I was outside of myself, like, because I felt like I was talking to myself as I was doing this. So I'm standing up, and I'm like, you know what? Excuse me, everybody in here. Is my phone conversation bothering any of y'all in here? Any of y'all? If my phone conversation bothering y'all, please say something right now. Because that's, when you start getting mad, you start becoming like a choir director. And I'm just hitting that arm, whatever. It's just getting a little bit louder and everything. Just to let everybody know, it's about to go down. And the people that responded first were like the Golden Girls across from me. And they're like, what? No, not at all. What's going on? Because now they want to be inquisitive because, okay, this is why people get killed in the horror movies because they don't know how to just answer the question. Now they want to investigate. So, they're all staring. All eyes are on me in this restaurant. And I'm standing up, going off and saying, like, I told you first time. You keep trying it. I don't know who you think you are. Da-da-da-da. And that's when the bass starts coming in the voice, and I da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. And you start, my job is standing up. So I'm leaning and da-da-da-da because I'm trying my best to hold it together. And I'm like in my work clothes. I still got my little work badge on or whatever. At this point, all eyes are on me in this restaurant. All the kids that are acting a fool, all of them have stopped. I think I did their mom a favor because all of them sat down. They're just all looking. The mom's looking. This old guy over here is just confused. Golden Girls are watching. Even the people in the kitchen are looking. And you know how like at IHOP, the way that it is, you can't really see everybody in the kitchen or their whole bodies. You only kind of see like their faces because the top of the counter thing, you see like the vent and then you see the counter where they sit the food. So all you can see are just eyes. And it's like 4 eyes just looking, trying to see what's going on, and then the server's still standing there, and at this point I think somebody's walked in, and so the host and the people that just walked in are all looking, I'm just, because I'm sick of this stuff. Y'all always be trying to come in here thinking y'all run everything, going off, and she's still talking. I was like, yo, like at this point I wanted to hit her so bad. I wanted to hit her so bad, but I don't hit women or whatever. Plus she was white, and I would have got lynched, and I was in Virginia at the time. They would have sent me to the chair and lethal injection, everything. They probably would have killed my dog too, just because. So I'm like, oh. So I'm like, hell no. So I'm still going at her, just going and blah, blah, blah. Finally, she's like, you know what? I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do this. I don't deserve this. I'm not going to do it. I'm not. And I'm like, okay. And mind you, at the same time, I didn't sit back down at this point. I'm like, whatever. And I'm eating. I'm like, next time you learn, you need to shut up and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, just give me my check. Just give me my check. Or whatever. So she starts to leave. At this point, it's been like maybe 5 minutes. I finished my food. I want my check because I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed that the server was really about to, because she was really probably going to come over there and say something. So I'm annoyed at her. I'm annoyed at the whole situation. I'm pissed because this lady done just got me all the way together. And I couldn't even think of all the good comebacks because I was just so caught off guard. Because I didn't expect it, And the way that I looked at it, I was like, had I been at a table with a few other black people, she wouldn't have said anything. But because I was by myself, she thought that she could pop off. And I'm just thinking like, she's going to go to work and talk so much trash about this story and think she did something. I can't do it because I can just see her, at the coffee table at Starbucks, And I told him, I had to let him know. I let him know, I did. So I was like, I can't do this. So anyway, server's too scared to give me my bill. So guess who gives me my bill? The nice guy who cleans the tables. And I was like, you know what? This is I be talking about. So I gave him like the best. I was like, you know, you're gonna get my tips, sir. So I paid cash that day. Like I just gave him, you know, I was like, here you go. Tell her to do whatever she needs to do with the receipt and everything. You keep the tip. Don't let her get nothing because she's sorry. And anyway, so at this point, then the manager comes over, and I'm like, well, where you been at the whole time? Now you want to show up, and he's, you know, I do thank you for your business, but you know, sometimes the way that we conduct ourselves in the restaurant, I was like, oh hell. So long story short, I had to cuss him out too, or whatever, and he really got the brunt of my frustration, because literally everything I told him was kind of the stuff I wanted to tell her, because at this point, now all my jabs, my digs are coming, but it's a little too late, because she done already left. So he got the brunt of everything, and basically they didn't ban me on paper, but it was basically suggested that I just stop coming there. And I was like, don't worry about it, that's cool, because you know what, when I come into my money, I'm going to open my own restaurant right across the street, and I'm going to buy your restaurant, and I'm going to turn it into a storage facility, okay? And then y'all can have all the Crocs and everything you want to stock in there forever. So I leave the IHOP, and mind you, I don't have my car, so I got to get on the subway, and I'm so mad. Like, I was in that subway looking for her, because you know how you think of all the good stuff to say after the fact? Like, I was so pissed. I was thinking of everything, and I was hoping she had like a husband or a son or a boyfriend, somebody I could fight, because at this point I wanted to hit somebody, because the manager pissed me off. I wanted to fight the manager. I wanted to fight everybody except for the guy that cleaned the table that got the tip. He was the only person that was down, and maybe the guy in the corner, he was kind of cool. But I was so pissed. Like, I was going to meet her, I was going to get on whatever train she was on, wherever she was going, I was going. Fortunately for her, she had already got on her train, and I never saw her again. But I get, man, listen, I get mad just thinking about it. I gotta calm back down. Look, yeah. So that's my story about that IHOP. So I don't go to that IHOP anymore ever again. Not doing it. Give me the strip. But I was so mad. I thought of all the good stuff to say on that train ride home. I was like, man, why didn't I should have told her this. So wherever that lady is, I know she got one on me that day. It won't happen again though. I still kind of gave it to her, but it was just I was caught off guard. I didn't have ready. I wasn't ready. So now I gotta be in pop-off mode all the time for moments like that. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed my little story. Just had a flashback. I said I would give you something a little bit lighter than all the heavy videos I've been giving all week. Hopefully you got some type of comedic relief out of that. Or something. Or maybe, and you know what, maybe the lady watching this, you might be subscribed to the channel. Just know I got you next time, okay? I'm gonna make sure I got my cousin Tata Tina, somebody to sit next to me, so just in case you pop off, she's just gonna slap you across the face, and I'm gonna just talk, and she's gonna interpret via hitting. Anyway, I'm just playing. I'm trying to change. I'm out. Subscribe.